Hi everyone. If you hear the background noise, it's Navratri is going on. I usually record the video in the afternoon because there is no disturbance. But this afternoon, I went with my mother to shop because she wanted to do a little shopping. We will go for Diwali shopping later, but right now we went for a little shopping and we spent the afternoon there. So I was too tired. I came back home, took a nap instead of recording. So I'm recording in a voice noise out there. It is fun to have Navratri, but I wasn't feeling today, so I didn't go. Maybe I'll go later after recording. Anyway, uh, we are doing book four, Percy Jackson. I didn't ask for people's opinion this time, or I will not ask people's opinion the next time because I started the series. Might as well end it. I have five Percy Jackson books. Might as well just do it start to finish. It is going to be for the best. So this book is Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth, which sounds very exciting and so puzzly. I would love to decode the book as we go by. So let's read what it says. Honestly, blowing up another school was the last thing I wanted to do. As the son of Greek god, I've had my share of near death disaster. This summer, I didn't choose to battle a cheerleading squad, but when two hissing she devils with fangs are heading straight for you, what's a half blood meant to do? That was just the beginning. This is the one where my arch enemy Luke is looking for a way to invade our camp via an ancient labyrinth. If he succeeds, thousands of bloodthirsty monsters will attack. So it's goodbye sunshine, hello darkness, as four of us descend into terrifying underground and beyond. Can Percy navigate his way out of trouble before Luke's army bring mass destruction to Camp Half-Blood? Considering there is a book 5, I'm assuming the answer is no, but still let's see. This is a thick book, not like the books last time, so I'm assuming, and there are 20 chapters, so I think that there are going to be bigger chapters than before. So let's get started immediately. 20 chapters. This is really exciting, you guys, seriously. And I really like that Rick Riordan is sticking to 20 chapter per book thing. It makes my life much easier. Okay. I Battle the Cheerleading Squad, Chapter 1. The last thing I wanted to do on my summer break was blow up another school. But there I was, Monday morning, and the first week of June, sitting in my mom's car in front of Good High School on East 81st. Good was this big brown stone building overlooking the East River. A bunch of BMWs and Lincoln Town cars were parked out front. Staring up at fancy stone archway, I wondered how long it would take me to get kicked out of this place. Okay, honestly, are there really so many schools in America? And how does the child's track record doesn't speak? Percy is a victim here, obviously, I know that, but shouldn't the school be asking like why the child got kicked out so many times and what happened? Wouldn't there be suspicion? Even the mist, I don't think the mist can do much good with this. But then again, in the last book or in the previous book, Chiron did say he sorted things out, so I'm assuming that how things work. It's very confusing. Anyway, let's continue. Just relax. My mom didn't sound relaxed. And no one's mom is going to sound relaxed when you are the child of a big three. It's only an orientation tour. And remember, dear, this is Paul's school. So try not to, you know, destroy it. Yes. Paul Blofus was my mom's boyfriend, was standing out front, greeting future ninth graders as they came up the steps. With his salt and pepper hair, denim clothes, and leather jacket, he reminded me of a TV actor, but he was just an English teacher. He'd managed to convince Good High School to accept me for ninth grade, despite the fact that I'd been kicked out of every school I'd ever attended. I tried to warn him it wasn't a good idea, but he wouldn't listen. Now that's on you, Paul. Seriously, that is really on you. I looked at my mom. You haven't told him the truth about me, have you? She tapped her fingers nervously on the wheel. She was dressed up for a job interview, her best blue dress and high heeled shoes. I thought we should wait, she admitted, so we don't scare him away. I'm sure orientation will be fine, Percy. It's only one morning. Great, I mumbled. I can get expelled before I even start the school year. Think positive. Tomorrow you're off to camp. After orientation, you've got your date. It's not a date. I protested. It's just Annabeth, Mom. Jeez. Oh my god. Percy, it's a date. I think. I really can't. If you can see my face, this is not just blush, it is actual real life blood reaching there and trying to get out of my cheeks because the pressure is so much. She's coming all the way from camp to meet you. Well, yeah. You're going to the movies. Yeah. Just the two of you. Mom! Oh my god! No, seriously? This is so exciting. Percy is in the. I mean, I do know already that Percy and Annabeth are together and they are girlfriend and boyfriend, but still reading the journey is a completely different experience. She held up her hands in surrender, but I could tell she was trying hard not to smile. Percy, we are all trying hard not to smile. You'd better get inside, dear. I'll see you tonight. I was about to get out of the car when I looked over at the steps of school. Paul Blofis was greeting a girl with frizzy red hair. Ooh. Frizzy red hair that reminds me of the girl in the previous book. Red. Her name literally spells red. Rachel Elizabeth Dare. She wore a maroon t-shirt and ratty jeans decorated with marker drawings. When she turned, I caught a glimpse of her face, and the hairs on my arms stood straight up. Percy, what's wrong? My mom asked. Nothing, I stammered. Does the school have a side entrance? Down the block on the right. Why? I'll see you later. My mom started to say something, but I got out of the car and ran, hoping the red-headed girl wouldn't see me. What was she doing here? Not even my luck could be this bad. Yeah, right. I was about to find out my luck could get a lot worse. Sneaking into orientation didn't work out too well. Two cheerleaders in purple and white uniforms were standing at the side entrance waiting to ambush freshmen. Hi, they smiled, which I figured was the first and last time any cheerleaders would be that friendly to me. One was blonde with icy blue eyes, and the other was African American with dark curly hair like Medusa's. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, Percy. Very defensive of you. Both girls had their names stitched in cursive on their uniforms. But with my dyslexia, The words looked like meaning like spaghetti. Welcome to good. You are so going to love it, the blonde girl said. Should I do a very Californian accent? Like, let's try. Welcome to good. You're so going to love it. That just came off offensive. But as she looked me up and down, her expression said something like, Ew, who's this loser? The other girl stepped uncomfortably close to me. I studied the stitching on her uniform and made out Kelly. She smelled like roses and something else I recognized from the riding lessons at camp, the scent of freshly washed horses. It was a weird smell for a cheerleader. Maybe she owned a horse or something. Anyway, she stood so close, I got the feeling she was going to try to push me down the steps. What's your name, Fish? Fish. Freshman. Percy. This isn't going to end well. The girls exchanged looks. Oh, Percy Jackson. We've been waiting for you, the blonde one said. That sent a major oh chill down my back. They were blocking the entrance, smiling in a not very friendly way. My hand crept instinctively towards my pocket where I kept my lethal ballpoint pen riptide. Seriously. Think about it. A lethal ballpoint pen riptide. If no one has read the previous books and reads this one, it is just going to come off as what is he talking about? Then another voice came from inside the building. Percy? It was Paul Bluffus, somewhere down the hallway. I'd never been so glad to hear his voice. The cheerleaders backed off. I was so anxious to get past them, I accidentally kneed Kelly in the thigh. Clang! Her leg made a hollow metallic sound like I'd just hit a flagpole. Ow! Watch it, fish, she muttered. I glanced down, but her leg looked like a regular old leg. I was too freaked out to ask questions. I dashed into the hall, the cheerleaders laughing behind me. There you are. Welcome to good, Paul told me. Hey, Paul, Mr. Bluffus? I glanced back, but the weird cheerleaders had disappeared. Percy, you look like you've seen a ghost. Yeah, Paul clapped me on the back. Listen, I know you're nervous, but don't worry. We get a lot of kids here with ADHD and dyslexia. The teachers know how to help. I almost wanted to laugh. If only ADHD and dyslexia were my biggest worries. Same, Percy. If only ADHD was my biggest worries, my mental health would be way better. I mean, I knew Paul was trying to help, but if I told him the truth about me, he'd either think I was crazy or he'd run away screaming. Those cheerleaders, for instance, I had a bad feeling about them. Then I looked down the hall and I remembered I had another problem. The red-headed girl I'd seen on the front steps was just coming in the main entrance. Don't notice me, I prayed. She noticed me. Her eyes widened. Wow, Percy, you have such luck. Where's the orientation? I asked Paul. The gym, that way, but bye. Percy, he called, but I was already running. I thought I lost her. A bunch of kids were heading for the gym, and soon I was just one of the 314-year-olds, all crammed into the stands. A marching band played an out of tune fight song that sounded like somebody hitting a bag of cats with a metal baseball bat. Older kids, probably student council members, stood up in front modeling the good school uniform, looking all, hey, we're cool. Teachers milled around, smiling and shaking hands with students. The walls of the gym were plastered with big purple and white banners that said, Welcome, future freshmen. Good is good. We're all family. And a bunch of other happy slogans that pretty much made me want to throw up. None of the other freshmen looked thrilled to be here either. I mean, coming to orientation in June is not cool when school doesn't even start till September. But at good, we prepare to excel early. At least that's what the brochure said. The marching band stopped playing. A guy in pinstriped suit came to the microphone and started talking. But the sound echoed through the around Jim, so I had no idea what he was saying. He might have been gargling. Someone grabbed my shoulder. What are you doing here? It was her, my red-headed nightmare. Rachel Elizabeth Dare, I said. Her jaw dropped like she couldn't believe I had the nerve to remember her name. And you're Percy somebody. I didn't get your full name last December when you tried to kill me. Look, I wasn't. I didn't. What are you doing here? Same as you, I guess. Orientation. You live in New York? What, you thought I lived at Hoover Dam? It had never occurred to me. Whenever I thought about her, and I'm not saying I thought about her, she just like crossed my mind from time to time, okay? Oh my god, that bracket, amazing. I always figured she lived in the Hoover Dam area, since that's where I'd met her. You know what, Percy? Same. We'd spent maybe 10 minutes together, during which time I'd accidentally swung a sword at her. She'd saved my life, and I'd run away chased by a band of supernatural killing machines. You know, your typical chance meeting. Some guy behind us whispered, "Hey, shut up. The cheerleaders are talking." "Hi guys." A girl bubbled into the microphone. It was a blonde I'd seen at the entrance. "My name is Tammy, and this is like Kelly." Kelly did a cartwheel. Sorry, it just comes off that way. Next to me, Rachel yelped like someone had stuck her with a pin. A few kids looked over and snickered, but Rachel just stared at the cheerleaders in horror. Oh, so she could. Oh, right. Because, see, she could see through the mist. So, right now, she could see that they are not cheerleaders, they are something else. Well, looks like Rachel is going to be one of the four. Yesterday when I read that four of us descend into the terrifying underground and beyond, I thought it was going to be Percy, Grover, Annabeth, and Nico. But then I remembered that Nico is missing, so now I'm assuming it's Elizabeth. It's Red. We're going to call her Red. Nobody's calling her Rachel Elizabeth Dare every time I mention her. Tammy didn't seem to notice the outburst. She started talking about all the great ways we could get involved during our freshman year. Run, Rachel told me. Now. Why? Rachel didn't explain. She pushed her way to the edge of the stands, ignoring the frowning teachers and grumbling kids she was stepping on. I hesitated. Tammy was explaining how we were about to break into small groups and tour the school. Kelly caught my eye and gave me an amused smile like she was waiting to see what I'd do. It would look bad if I left now. Paul Blowfish was down there with the rest of the teachers. He'd wonder what was wrong. Then I thought about Red and the special ability she'd shown last winter at Hoover Dam. She'd been able to see a group of security guards who weren't security guards at all, who weren't even human. My heart pounding, I got up and followed her out of the gym. I found Rachel in the band room. She was hiding behind a bass drum in the percussion section. "Get over here. Keep your head down," she said. I felt pretty silly hiding behind a bunch of bongos, but I crouched beside her. "Did they follow you?" Rachel asked. "You mean the cheerleaders?" She nodded nervously. "I don't think so. What are they? What did you see?" Her green eyes were bright with fear. She had a sprinkle of freckles on her face that reminded me of constellations. Her maroon t-shirt read Harvard Art Department. You wouldn't believe me." "Oh yeah, I would. I promised. I know you can see through the mist." "The what?" "The mist. It's, well, It's like this veil that hides the way things really are. Some mortals are born with the ability to see through it, like you. She studied me carefully. You did that at Hoover Dam. You called me a mortal, like you're not. I felt like punching a bongo. What was I thinking? I could never explain. I shouldn't even try. Tell me, she begged. You know what it means. These horrible things I see. Look, this is going to sound weird, but do you know anything about Greek myths? Like the Minotaur and the Hydra? Yeah, just try not to say those names when I'm around, okay? And the Furies, she said, warming up, and the Sirens, and okay. I looked around the band room, sure that Rachel was going to make a bunch of bloodthirsty nasties pop out of the walls. But we were still alone. Down the hallway, I heard a mob of kids coming out of the gymnasium. They were starting the group tours. We didn't have long to talk. All those monsters, all the Greek gods, they're real. I knew it. Of course you did, Rachel. You can see through the mist. I would have been more comfortable if she'd called me a liar, but Rachel looked like I'd just confirmed her worst suspicion. You don't know how hard it's been. For years, I thought I was going crazy. I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't. Her eyes narrowed. Wait, who are you? I mean, really? I'm not a monster. Well, I know that. I could see if you were. You look like you, but you're not human, are you? I swallowed. Even though I'd had 3 years to get used to who I was, I'd never talked about it with a regular mortal before. I mean, except for my mom, but she already knew. I don't know why, but I took the plunge. I'm a half blood. I'm half human, I said. And half what? Just then, Tammy and Kelly stepped into the band room and the door shut behind them. There you are, Percy Jackson. It's time for your orientation. No, wait, that is not the cheerleader voice. There you are, Percy Jackson. It's time for your orientation, Tammy said. They're horrible, Rachel gasped. Tammy and Kelly were still wearing their purple and white cheerleader costumes, holding pom poms from the rallies. What do they look like? I asked, but Rachel seemed too stunned to answer. Come on, Rachel, give us something. You can see things. Oh, forget her. Tammy gave me a brilliant smile and started walking towards us. Kelly stayed behind by the doors, blocking our exit. They trapped us. I knew we'd have to fight our way out, but Tammy's smile was so dazzling, it distracted me. Her blue eyes were beautiful, and the way her hair swept over her shoulders. Percy, Rachel warned. I said something really intelligent like, Tammy was getting closer. She held out her pom poms. Percy! Rachel's voice seemed to be coming from a long way away. Snap out of it! It took all of my willpower, but I got my pen out of my pocket and capped it. Riptide grew into a meter-long bronze sword, its blade glowing with a faint golden light. Tammy's smile turned into a sneer. Oh, come on! You don't need that. How about a kiss instead? She protested. She smelled like roses and clean animal fur, a weird but somehow intoxicating smell. Rachel pinched my arm hard. Percy, she wants to bite you. Look at her. She's just jealous. Tammy looked at Kelly. May I, mistress? Kelly was still blocking the door, licking her lips hungrily. Go ahead, Tammy. You're doing fine. Tammy took another step forward, but I leveled the tip of my sword at her chest. Get back, she snarled. Freshmen, this is our school, half-blood. We feed on whom we choose, she said with disgust. That sounds like vampire, but I don't think vampires are a Greek mythology thing, or even a Roman mythology thing. So I'm assuming this is some other creature. Then she began to change. The color drained out of her face and arms. Her skin turned as white as chalk. Her eyes completely. Never mind, it is a vampire. her eyes completely red. Her teeth grew into fangs. A vampire, I stammered. Then I noticed her legs. Below the cheerleader skirt, her left leg was brown and shaggy with donkey's hoof. Her right leg was shaped like a human leg, but it was made of bronze. A vampire with. Don't mention the legs! It's rude to make fun, Tammy snapped. She advanced on her weird, mismatched legs. She looked totally bizarre, especially with the pom poms, but I couldn't laugh, not facing those red eyes and sharp fangs. A vampire, you say? Kelly laughed. That silly legend was based on us, you fool. We are Emposai, servants of Hecate. I swear, I really love Hecate or Hecate. We are going through the Hecate. I really love Hecate, but I swear to God, I do not see servants drinking blood. Is it? Tammy edged closer to me. Dark magic formed us from animal, bronze, and ghost. We exist to feed on the blood of young men. Now come, give me that kiss. She bared her fangs. I was so paralyzed I couldn't move. But Rachel threw a snare drum at the Emposa's head. The demon hissed and batted the drum away. It went rolling along the aisles behind music stands, its springs rattling against the drumhead. Rachel threw a xylophone, but the demon just swatted that away too. I don't usually kill girls, but for you, mortal, I'll make an exception. Your eyesight is a little too good, Tammy growled. She lunged at Rachel. No, I slashed with riptide. Tammy tried to dodge my blade, but I sliced straight through her cheerleader out uniform, and with a horrible wail, she exploded into dust all over Rachel. Rachel coughed. She looked like she'd just had a sack of flour dumped on her head. Gross. Monsters do that. Sorry, I said. You killed my trainee. You need a lesson in school spirit, half-blood, Kelly yelled. Then she, too, began to change. Her wavy hair turned to flickering flames. Her eyes turned red. She grew fangs. She lopped towards us, her brass foot and hoof clopping unevenly on the band room floor. I'm senior Emposa. No hero has bested me in 1,000 years, she growled. Yeah? Then you're overdue, I said. Ooh, that really sent chills down my spine, Percy. Kelly was a lot faster than Tammy. She dodged my first strike and rolled into the brass section, knocking over a row of trombones, with a mighty crash. Rachel scrambled out of the way. I put myself between her and the Emposa. Kelly circled us, her eyes going from me to the sword. Such a pretty little blade. What a shame it stands between us. Her form shimmered. Sometimes a demon, sometimes a pretty cheerleader. I tried to keep my mind focused, but it was really distracting. Poor dear. You don't even know what's happening, do you? Kelly chuckled. Soon, your pretty little camp in flames. Your friends made slaves to the Lord of the Time, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It would be merciful to end your life now, before you have to see that. From down the hall, I heard voices. A tour group was approaching. A man was saying something about locker combinations. The Emposa's eyes lit up. Excellent. We're about to have company. She picked up a tuba and threw at me. Rachel and I ducked. The tuba sailed over our heads and crashed through the window. The voices in the hall died down. Percy, why did you throw that? Kelly shouted, pretending to be scared. I was too surprised to answer. Kelly picked up a music stand and swiped it, a row of clarinets and flutes. Chairs and musical instruments crashed to the floor. Stop it, I said. People were tromping down the hall now, coming in our direction. Time to greet our visitors. Kelly barred her fangs and ran for the door. I charged after her with riptide. I had to stop her from hurting the mortals. Percy, don't! Rachel shouted, but I hadn't realized what Kelly was up to until it was too late. Kelly flung open the door. Paul Bloffis and a bunch of freshmen stepped back in shock. I raised my sword. At the last second, the Emposa turned towards me like a cowering victim. Oh no, please, she cried. I couldn't stop my blade, it was already in motion. But before the celestial bronze hit her, Kelly exploded into flames like a Molotov cocktail. Waves of fire splashed over everything. I'd never seen a monster do that before, but I didn't have time to wonder about it. I backed into the band room as flames engulfed the doorway. Percy? What have you done? Paul Blofeld looked completely stunned, staring at me from across the fire. Kids screamed and ran down the hall. The fire alarm wailed. Ceiling sprinklers hissed into life. In the chaos, Rachel tugged on my sleeve. You have to get out of here. She was right. The school was in flames and I'd be held responsible. Mortals couldn't see through the mist properly. To them, it would look like I'd just attacked a helpless cheerleader in front of a group of witnesses. There was no way I could explain it. I turned from Paul and sprinted for the broken band room window. I burst out of the alley into East 81st and ran straight into Annabeth. Hey, you're out early, she laughed, grabbing my shoulders to keep me from tumbling into streets. Watch where you're going, seaweed brain. For a split second, she was in a good mood and everything was fine. She was wearing jeans and an orange camp t-shirt, her clay bead necklace. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a ponytail. Her grey eyes sparkled. She looked like she was ready to catch a movie, have a cool afternoon hanging out together. Then Rachel Elizabeth Dare, still covered in monster dust, came charging out of the alley yelling, Percy, wait up! Annabeth's smile melted. She stared at Rachel, then at the school. For the first time, she seemed to notice the black smoke and the ringing fire alarms. She frowned at me. What did you do this time? And who is this? Oh, Rachel, Annabeth, Rachel. She's a friend, I guess. I wasn't sure what else to call Rachel. I mean, I barely knew her, but after being in two life or death situations together, I couldn't just call her nobody. Hi, Rachel said. Then she turned to me. You're in so much trouble. You still owe me an explanation. Police sirens wailed on FDR Drive. Percy, we should go. No, wait. Annabeth says this coldly, so we are going to be hella cold. Percy, we should go. That wasn't cold enough, was it? I want to know more about half-bloods, Rachel insisted, and monsters, and this stuff about gods. She grabbed my arms, whipped out a permanent marker, and wrote a phone number on my hand. You're going to call me and explain, okay? You owe me that. Now get going. But I'll make up some story. I'll tell them it wasn't your fault. Just go, Rachel said. She ran back towards the school, leaving Annabeth and me on the street. I know, but seeing Annabeth jealous is so cute. And I'm so glad didn't Reardon didn't have to write that Annabeth was jealous or Percy was jealous. He wrote what they felt, and we could tell that it is jealousy. I love the way he wrote that. She ran back towards the school, leaving Annabeth and me in the street. Annabeth stared at me for a second. Then she turned and took off. Hey, I jogged after. There were these two Emposi, I tried to explain. They were cheerleaders. See, And they said the camp was going to burn, and you told a mortal girl about half-bloods. She can see through the mist. She saw the monster before I did. So you told her the truth? She recognized me from Hoover Dam, so you've met her before? Um, last winter. But seriously, I barely know her. She's kind of cute. I never thought about it. Annabeth, when will you learn that Percy finds no one else cute but you? Sorry. Annabeth kept walking towards York Avenue. I'll deal with the school, I promised, anxious to change the subject. Honest, I'll be fine. Annabeth wouldn't even look at me. I guess our afternoon is off. We should get you out of here. Now that the police will be searching for you. Behind us, the smoke billowed from Good High School. In dark column of ashes, I thought I could almost see a face, a she-demon with red eyes laughing at me. Your pretty little camp in flames, Callie had said. Your friends were made slaves of the Lord of Time. You're right. We have to get to Camp Half-Blood now, I told Annabeth, my heart sinking. Let us talk about let us really talk about the fact that in the last book, Percy was so jealous that Annabeth was, still talking about Luke. So jealous that he literally told us that he's glad Luke died. Before he found out that Luke didn't die, really, but still. Can we please talk about that? He was so jealous that he was okay with Luke dying. Annabeth is so jealous, she was ready to just walk away. My God. If her eyes could speak, Annabeth could have covered the entire New York in frost, not snow, frost. I love me a jealousy trope sometimes. Oh my God. And no, this is a natural blush you can see on my face. It's all thanks to Percabeth. Let us thank Percabeth. Sorry, it is too exciting. I cannot contain myself. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time in the next video for the chapter 2. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with 2 other chapters. Bye.